Hey, Windsor, Essex, Chatham, Kent, if you're thinking about going to the hardware store and getting a do-it-yourself kit to reglaze your tub and tile, you're going to want to watch this review video I did. Check this out. Matthew here, bathroomrenew.com. Yeah. Okay, wanted to do a review video on somebody that posted something on YouTube about they did their tub with the do-it-yourself kit 2 years ago. They did the tile, and I'm going to explain a little bit to people what goes on when you do these kits on yourself. Now, when professional reglazers like myself, when we come in, we have specialized equipment, we have specialized coatings. You cannot buy this coating at the hardware store. You can't buy this coating at the Home Depot. These are completely different types of coatings. This is like trying to paint your 300-foot ocean liner with paint that you're buying at the hardware store. This is not the same thing. It's completely different. These are commercial, industrial, and architectural coatings that they do not sell to the general public. That's why when we come in and do your tub, one, it stays shiny forever. Two, it sticks to the tub over 10 to 15 years and it doesn't pop off. And you have this very smooth feeling coating after a while. This is why when you hire a professional that uses industrial coatings, it's drastically different than what you're gonna buy at the hardware store. Okay, let's get into this. Let's see what this guy says.
Hey everyone, 2 years ago I bought one of those refinishing kits so that I could repaint the tub in the kids' bathroom. Now if you saw that video, you know it didn't go that well, and it's been 2 years, so let's take a look at it now.
Okay, so it didn't go that well, he's saying. Go figure.
Before we get into it, I need to address a few points. That video's been my most viewed video on the channel, which is a bit weird as I don't think it's truly representative of my channel, given that I mostly show woodworking.
Okay, so he's not a coating specialist, he's a woodworker. He obviously has a lot of skills in how to use his hands. You can see on here he's got like a bunch of things in the background. He's got a drill press, a table saw, he's got some band saws in the back there, 36-inch long clamps to clamp wood and stuff like that together. He's probably a cabinet maker by trade. So those guys are really skilled at applying coatings too. So this guy's no dummy. He's an educated man. He's not an idiot. He knows, you know, he follows instructions. So he obviously followed the instructions on the can.
It's also been a bit of a controversial video. 2 years later, I'm still getting comments popping up every single week. And let's just say they're not always that polite.
We'll keep it.
So I need to clear up a few things right away. First of all,
I'm going to tell you why people are not polite. They're frustrated because the shit don't work. That's why.
I'm located in Canada. So
hey,
far, 80% of the views
right here
on that
too.
video are from the USA versus just 6% from up here in Canada. And while Canada and the US have a lot of things in common, there's still plenty of differences. And in particular, our regulations on things like solvents and VOCs are much more stringent than they are in the US. That's what.
Okay, I'm going to debunk some of this here. Yes, there are some things in the US and Canada that are different. No, they are not more stringent one country to the other. California has way more stringent VOC laws than Canada does. Canada it's just different. It's not more or less. It's different. Like they can't get methylene chloride paint stripper in there. You know, it's very difficult to get methylated chlorine paint stripper in the US. We can in Canada. I use methylated chloride paint stripper all the time on all their tubs. So, you know, it's just different. I wouldn't say it's more stringent. As far as what the coatings are being sold here in the DIY arena as far as the US, it's relatively the same. I would say that probably the same kit is being sold here at Home Depot, is being sold at the Home Depot in whatever state this person's making a comment from. So let's keep going.
But anyways, oil-based finishes, for example, are pretty much gone the way of the dinosaur up here. It's all
No, they're not. There's oil-based finishes being used everywhere in Canada. It's just that when you go to the hardware stores, you're buying paint, okay? You're buying an elastomer that goes on the wall or something like that. It's mostly, I would say maybe 80% are, you know, some type of acrylic waterborne substance, right? But yes, you can find oil-based products all over the place. That's what a lot of industrial coatings are oil-based products. And there's tons of oil-based products for DIY stuff at home.
Latex and water-based, everything. And so I've heard from many people that the formulation of the tub refinishing kit that I bought is considerably different than the one that's sold in the United States.
No, it'd be the same.
I didn't know that
Very
when
close.
I first shot the video, but you know, so for all these people who say, but it worked for me, it's like, let's make sure you're actually talking about the same product. The other all too frequent comment that I'm getting thoroughly sick of is all the people saying I didn't follow the directions correctly, or I didn't prep the surface efficiently, or I didn't sand enough. There's not much I can say to that. I mean, my recollection is that I read the instructions thoroughly and I followed.
Okay, if it didn't work, your prep sucked, it failed. I would say that for about maybe 75% of the time, people do not prep correctly when they're preparing a surface for coating. Yes, that would be true. However, I do not think that is true with this gentleman's situation here.
And I followed them carefully. Here's one section of the tile wall.
Okay, so he didn't talk about how he prepped in this video. But in those kits, what they do is they give you, they usually give you some TSP, trisodium phosphate. You mix it with some water, you use it. That's a great cleaner. It will clean the substance or the substrate very, very good. Now, then they gave him some sandpaper, usually, in it to sand it with a little bit. You can't sand porcelain, okay? Over 90% of what you're going to be recoating when it comes to tile, it's porcelain on top of ceramic, okay? You can't sand porcelain. Porcelain is thousands of times harder than the sandpaper. You're not going to sand the porcelain, okay? So just forget about trying to etch it. You have to chemically etch it and use hydrofluoric etching paste when you're trying to degloss or etch a ceramic tile. Now your tub, if it's a fiberglass tub or an acrylic tub, it'll sand. You can sand, get adhesion that way. However, if it's a steel tub or a cast iron tub, those are laminated with porcelain, or they'd say enameled with porcelain, which just means they have porcelain that's stuck to on top. That porcelain is incredibly hard and very durable, and you're not going to do anything to sand that. You can't sand it. You're going to make the rough spots a little bit smoother. I did a video before on how to clean your bathtub. That's impossible to clean, and if it's very worn, it's very rough. You can sand the tub, but you're not going to sand it to make the coating stick. You're just going to sand it to knock the ridges of the worn porcelain down so it feels smoother. You're not going to etch it with sandpaper to make it stick. In this part of the video, it looks like he's talking about yellowing. Now we're going to talk about yellowing in this coating. Why does it yellow? It yellows because the catalyst agent that is put in these epoxies is called amine. That's the chemical structure. You can look that up on Google, an amine molecule. And that goes into the coating to catalyze it, to cross-link it, to make it harden. That's what makes it hard, that makes it not stay sticky. When you have an amine-based epoxy and you subject it to moisture, it tends to have the yellow effect. It yellows. So if you're painting your bathtub black or orange or some type of blue or something like that, you're not going to see it turn yellow. If you painted it white, you're going to see it turn yellow. And this is what you're seeing here. Actually, what you're going to see here is it almost looks like Alistair patching, where he didn't actually mix the coating enough and then give it the proper induction time and then mix it even more. You're supposed to mix it, let it have an induction time where it can polymerize and cross-link a little bit, and then you mix it again. It looks like he actually didn't mix it enough and put it on the wall like that. It was enough for it all to harden, but you can see that there's actually more hardening agent in certain spots, and those are the ones that are actually turning yellow. And I see this all the time when I have to get called in to repair one of these jobs or take it off and redo it.
Now here the paint is not cracked or peeling or anything like that, so hopefully
turning
those
yellow.
folks will accept that at least here I prepped and applied it correctly.
Well, it just happened to stick
there.
there.
Look how yellow it is.
Yeah.
This is white, this is white, this is white, this is yellow.
Look at the big run there too.
It's yellow, it's yellow, it's yellow.
Yeah,
It's
yellowing.
just no good.
Yeah, of course it's not
Here's
good.
one close up of the side wall. It's going yellow here. Here it's white. Here
Yellowing there.
It's flaking right through.
Look at all the runs there too.
I can just scrape it right off with my fingernail right there.
Of course it's not going to adhere.
There it goes.
Okay, it looks terrible, and I'm going to tell you why it's not sticking. Because one, it's not etched. You have to use hydrofluoric etching paste to make it stick. Two is the top coat is not going to adhere to the tile even if you etched it, because that's just the chemical makeup of the characteristic of this type of coating. It doesn't like to stick. You have to use some type of sandwich coating in between, or a primer. Preferably, what would be best if you were doing this is you would clean the tile, you would etch a little bit, degloss it, then you would use a saline bonding agent, which they do not sell to the general public because this is more of a commercial industrial setting. And then you would prime it, you would let that dry, you'd scuff it a little bit, and then you'd put your top coat resin on top of that, and then you'd have actually a pretty smooth coating if you were rolling it or brushing it, and it would stick like crazy. This, all the DIY kits out there that they're selling you is going to do this. There's not one or better that you're going to find, whether it's a Rust-Oleum or a Clinks or this or that or some other type of coating that I can't remember to name that I see in the hardware store all the time that people buy. It's not going to work. You're going to have this. This is very normal. And it's not like, oh, only once in a while I see that. Every job that I see is like this.
Here at the shower head end, this is all going yellow and yellow. Up here by the shower head,
more yellow. I mean,
and
blushing.
down to where the valve is. This is all going yellow. Here,
Yep.
Here's still white, just so you can see.
You notice where the
white.
water hits it all the time, it's really yellow.
Here along the lip of the tub, it is just flaking.
Of course, it's not adhering to it.
Flake it off with my fingernail.
Yep. You can see the tub's really worn underneath too.
More over here.
This stuff really didn't stick.
Idea.
Yep.
Here we're looking straight into the tub. That is the original one from 2 years ago, but then here it's flaking, and there
Of
it's
course
flaking,
it's coming off. It's not adhering.
Flaking.
No bonding agent, no etch,
Here,
no
here.
prime, top coat only. That's what you
Here
get.
in the middle, it's
I see this all the
starting to
time.
go
Very
through.
characteristic.
If we turn and look at the other end,
See, it's more yellowed in this
here's the
area.
drain. It is just completely flaking around there.
I mean,
You
blushing.
can just
Yep.
pick at it with your fingernails.
Well, of course. Yeah, take a razor blade, it just all peel right off.
Underneath the overflow, same idea. I'm trying to do a close-up focus on one of the tiles here. I hope I can get the lighting correct. You can just see all the striations, all the cracks in the finish. It is like this over
God.
probably 30% of the
Oh
wall.
my God.
Let me just close by showing some still photos of what I've been talking.
Okay, stop. You see this right here where there's like these wrinkles and stuff and it's all puckered and stuff like that? That is from just the product, just a cheap product that's not mixed enough. There's all different types of scenarios that could cause this. God only knows, but he's got crazing, he's got alligatoring, he's got wrinkling, and it looks like it actually didn't dry in certain spots where it took a really long time to dry, probably because he didn't mix it enough. But you got 10% of user error, 90% of poor product here. Like it's silly. This is basically a cement porch epoxy. This is like a cement epoxy. That's what they're selling. They've rebranded it as, you know, you can use it. And guess what? In the coatings business, there is rebranding of all types of resins, all types of paint. They rebrand it all the time. That's very normal for this business, where they take one type of product that's designed for this, and they put a different label on it, different instructions, and it's going to do this. All right, let's continue.
Talking about.
Oh yeah, it's ugly. It's terrible. That's what you get.
So what now? So in preparation for this.
So what now? You're going to call a pro and they're going to tear all that off and they're going to redo it. Finding a pro to redo your tile like that might be difficult, because even I am reluctant to take that on, because it's so tedious. You have to take all the coating off. And even in the grout, you have to get all the coating off from all of the grout. Then you have to re-grout it because you probably ground out everything that was in between there. Why do you have to take it off? Because one is the products that we're going to be putting on there might have some type of, you know, it's not going to work out. It's going to cause it to flake. It's going to cause it to wrinkle. It's going to cause it to peel. So you don't want to trust what's there. So you have to take off everything what's there. If I were brought in to repair something like this, I'd have to strip it all off. It'd probably take me 2 days to get everything completely taken off. Now there's faster guys out there that say, well, you know, we might be able to just sand and go on top of it, but they are putting too much faith in what's on there. Is it sticking? No, it's not sticking. It's starting to peel in areas. So you got to take that off. You can't trust what's there. And the biggest problem is when you trust what's there is, one, it'll peel off with your new coating on top of it. I don't want to do that. I don't want to trust that. Two is if you leave a little bit here and there, it's probably going to wrinkle when you put the other stuff on top. So you're going to have this puckering effect and wrinkling effect where the new coating bit into it and caused it to wrinkle as it dried and pulled it in. Now, you just want to take it right off.
This video, I reviewed the first two videos, and I see that I commented there that I would have been happy if we had, 3 to 5 years out of this kit.
Nobody's happy with 3 to 5 years.
We didn't even get 2 months.
Yeah, you won't see it. You won't even get a few months.
2 years later now, and it looks horrible.
There you go.
We really should have done something before now.
Yep.
It's just, we just haven't had the energy to deal with it. And, it's the kids' bathroom, so it's really easy to just close the door and
Just forget about it.
I mean, I'm certainly not buying
That's a
another
good thing to do.
kit.
Forget about it.
Really, we're going to do this summer what we should have done in the first place.
And
we're
tear
going to
it
bite
out.
the bullet, and we're going to gut this into the bathroom.
Yep, tear it out. Or you could hire a pro. Hire a pro the first time around, get it done properly. You'd be good for 10 to 15 years. The walls will last over 15 years. The tub, you could redo it in 10 years. You could probably get a 2-to-1. The tub would last you the walls would last you many, many years, and just get the tub done every 10 years. You can keep reglazing the tub professionally. It's way better than ripping it out. It's so insanely expensive now to do a bathroom. All right, hope that helped anybody make a decision whether you're going to go to a hardware store and buy a do-it-yourself kit and blow your brains out and waste a whole bunch of energy. Plus, it gives you a headache, that stuff, unless you have a full-face respirator on. It's really toxic. You got to have a fan in the bathroom. You got to have a full-face respirator on. And it's just not worth it, in my opinion. Even if you're not on my market, I don't care. Hire a pro to come in and do your tub right. Make sure they got good reviews, they're experienced, they know what they're doing, they're using professional products, and they have professional safety equipment as well. All right, guys. Bye.